Okay, that works.
Cool. So, like I said before I got kicked off, I figured we just go over premise of primal chains, um, who it applies to, who would benefit from it, and then just sort of go off onto some movement based tendencies from there. Figure that's a solid
Okay,
way to
cool,
go
man.
about.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot bringing me on.
Yeah. So, talk to me a little bit. What's your background, for anyone who doesn't know, and let's go a little bit into how you came about making the course.
Okay, if I start to break up, you let me know. All right.
Yep,
Am I coming through okay?
you're coming through fine.
Okay. So yeah, well, my background is from the world of chiropractic. I graduated chiropractic school like 20 years ago. It's hard to believe it's been that long, but I quickly realized that I wanted more from what I was doing to help people. That led me down the road of looking at human movement, and I've had the quest for the last 15 years of discovering ways to help people move better and feel better, but also answer the question of why people got pain in the first place or why they hit performance barriers in the first place, even though they're doing really, really great things to try to get better, feel better, move better, and be fantastic at whatever they love to do, but for some reason can't. And I just decided to put all that into a package that I've been teaching people for 15 years. And I said, you know what, maybe people would like to actually come and learn this on their own. So my ultimate goal is to help people not need people like me. This last 2 years of a journey to putting this 2-day workshop together. And this is also the fundamental foundation for my upcoming book that's coming out next year called Stop Chasing Pain. And it's geared towards anybody on this planet that's drawing a breath and can move and wants to move better. So you can be at any skill set level of athletics, and you can be at any education level you want. So I teach it that way because human movement is not difficult. It's taught in a way that empowers you to help you move better and feel better.
So at that point, it's not even geared towards, obviously people in the health and fitness industries will more geared towards it, but it's geared for just your average gym goer then at that point too.
Yeah, it is. I mean, well, I get mostly people, honestly, who come from the health and fitness world because they're people that follow my work, and that's the world that I'm in. But, I spent 20 years trying to help people of all different walks of life learn not to be afraid of their body and feel better and move better. So I'm not going to throw these big complicated terms at you and overcomplicate something that doesn't have to be complicated. So that's one of my pet peeves is that people get so fearful of their movement or their body and think that, I don't know enough about it. I'm like, it's your body. You know more than anybody else, and you don't have to be intimidated by it to come and learn. So I teach at a level that people that have more experience can definitely adapt to it and help them communicate better with other people who don't. But I also teach up for people that may not have a lot of experience with it, so they too can feel empowered to do it, because it's just movement. And the rail reset system that I teach, which stands for release, activate, integrate, locomotion, that's my plan of helping people help themselves. And it's not difficult to do. It's just understanding the system and applying it.
Cool. So at that point, it's kind of like you said. So it's not just geared towards where you're really stemming from originally, the rehab standpoint. But now we can start integrating it as as myself as a trainer, I can start integrating it into my personal training clients, my my strength training clients, and be able to start helping them perform better as well then.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it's geared towards initially where people get an initial assessment of how they are moving. So I show different ways that you can look at that. And then it's teaching you the framework of what Stop Chasing Pain is about, which is about movement chains of muscles that connect together to help you move efficiently or gain power and gain strength, and determine if they're working well or not working well. And then I show you the rail reset system to help what I call kind of quote unquote put them back online, so that your brain and your nervous system communicate well with the rest of your body. So you can do it for yourself as a self-assessment. Everybody gets a self-assessment, but we also work in groups of 3. So you get to see, feel, and touch different types of patterns and bodies as well. And I also show you how, if you're a medical professional, then you can touch people and do things and release tissue, how to do it. But if you're a trainer and you can't do that, I'm showing you how you can also work with people or show them how to do it themselves. And if it's just for yourself, I'm showing you how you can take care of yourself with the system on your own without needing a healthcare professional to do it. And I also show you how you know if you even need a healthcare professional for what we're looking at.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point right there, is that we see a lot of people, 80+% of the country, will suffer from low back pain at one given time. Doesn't necessarily mean that your low back pain is something that needs emergent medical care. Does the system sort of help? Do you sort of talk about like potential red flags of, hey, you should probably go see a medical professional because this is a little more?
I do, and I think so. Sometimes that comes down to an innate sense as well. But honestly, my program was developed and created for people that have been through everything you can possibly imagine up to a certain point. So they've been to many different types of doctors or disciplines. They've had all these different types of tests done to rule out anything significant or major, or what we call red flags, something that could be serious. Like an example is cancer, right? So by the time you've come to me and you've done my system, I know all that stuff has been ruled out. But the system is very, very powerful in a way that, yes, I'm going to show you how you can be observant of what your body is trying to tell you, because everybody experiences red flag symptoms differently. But the system should make a profound change in how you move and how you feel very quickly. If it doesn't, that in and of itself is a red flag that something is going on, because the whole premise of Stop Chasing Pain is I'm not showing you how to treat sites of pain. We're going to be working with the entire body and how it's interconnected. So you're going to be working on everything as it relates to the site of pain. So, for instance, if your elbow hurts, I'm not really telling you to do anything with your elbow. I'm telling you to do stuff with the rest of your body, and then you'll see that the elbow in and of itself will typically begin to feel better.
Excellent. So the course is how many days?
It's a 2-day course, so it's 8 hours each day, 16 hours total. And, we have usually 30, 40 people in a course, and we work in groups of 3. There's a lot of movement from the very beginning. So in the first 15, 20 minutes, you're moving and you're going through the systems and working with it on yourself and working with other people. And then you also have videos that we have, and we supply you with that and the educational materials after that, and support manuals. And I'm really excited to announce, actually on here for the first time, I'm working with a internet-based company where all the Stop Chasing Pain rail resets, and the system is actually going to be online. So if you go and you sign up, you can actually have this program, and you can prescribe the program to your client or to your patients and tell them which ones of the exercises you want them to do. There's videos of it, and then when they do it, they can actually fill out a feedback form and tell you how they feel, what's changing, what's not, and you can get right back to them almost in real time and tell them to either continue or change this up or don't do that. So it's going to make it highly applicable right away, so you can actually do that right from your phone.
Oh, that's awesome. That's going to be great.
It's really cool.
I know with, as a massage therapist as well, and, working with a bunch of different issues and clients, and correctives and, stuff to give them at home. It's like, one, are you doing it right? Two, I usually don't then hear from them until the next time I see them. So being able to be in that environment where I can then just get instant feedback from them and be able to help them, I think that's going to help a lot of people, both trainers and, more medical-based or rehab-based individuals be able to make greater changes with their clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to make it as easy as possible for people to begin to integrate the material, but it's because it's not really a ton of material. I mean, it's just the material done in specific ways so you can adapt the system to pretty much anything that you end up with. So it's based on fundamental principles, and then you just apply those principles across the board. So it's stuff that I purposely tried to make simple to apply, simple to understand, but a system in and of itself. So you know exactly if this, then that, but also variables along the way that if you do this and then that doesn't happen, what you might want to think about next.
That's excellent. So it sounds like it's going to be a system where people with trainers or rehab specialists with other modalities that they've learned to sort of be able to take in the primal component and be able to add it into what they already know, into their pre-existing ideas, and really be able to help use their manual techniques that they know, be able to then add this stuff in as a corrective component as well.
Yeah, so exactly. It's designed to amplify anything that you're already doing, not to replace it, right? I mean, you can do it in conjunction with things, or you can do it just by itself, in and of itself. Sometimes it may be all you should be doing, because one of my biggest things that I tell people is that every type of movement can be a corrective exercise, a corrective movement, even though I hate that word corrective, but it just depends on, is it the right one for the right person at the right time? Most of the time I find that people are given exercises that are just not beneficial for what they need at this moment, and they have to be regressed back to something else. And these just happen to be the regressed patterns that I found to be the most powerful and most fast-acting and can have the biggest carryover, so you don't always have to keep doing them. If that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, great. Because I think that's where, especially in the training world, you see, the idea of, corrective exercise, and, you got trainers who are sticking with these same exercises for the same clients for weeks or months on end, and it's like, well, is it really corrective exercise if you got to keep doing the same damn thing day in and day out? Are you really correcting anything, or are you just giving them something to almost do as a warm-up?
Yeah, I think you and I already know the answer to that one.
So I think something like this, where it's, you're trying to actually, get more to the root cause and actually, get it so it's, hey, like, do this for a little bit. This shouldn't be something you have to do the rest of your life. I think that's where we need to see. Go on.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. So getting a little bit off, this the primal course component, what really brought you, into the world of, chiropractic and wanting to help people?
Well, it was actually selfishly for myself first, honestly. I mean, I would jacked up my back as a bodybuilder so many times I lost count. Then eventually I got tired of saying what everybody still says to this day. Maybe it'll go away, right? And it did, but one time it didn't. And I got turned on to chiropractic from my training partner at the time. And, he got me moving again. And honestly, I really didn't even give it a thought to become one at that time. And he kept me going for years and years and years. And the reason I decided to go down that path, honestly, is that I was about to get married. I was about to start a family, and I really was looking long distance. So I didn't want to do what I was currently doing. I knew that I was kind of destined for something else. And I just said, you know what, maybe I could probably do that. And then I asked my chiropractor at the time, and he said, well, of course you can. So I'm like, okay, well, then I'm doing it. So I just quit work and went back to school and decided to take that path. And, went to Palmer College of Chiropractic in Davenport, Iowa, and got out, practiced, but I quickly realized that I wanted something more, and then I wanted something that would tie my roots of physical fitness and bodybuilding and just being in a gym with what I just learned to do. So I'm actually talking to you now from inside the gym office. I'm going to give my little camera around here, so where I treat patients. So this is my second home. So I go inside and I treat people there, and then I come outside and I play in the gym. I mean, it's a win-win situation. So the two worlds tied together, and then I found my bliss, you might say.
That's excellent. So, I know you travel, I get the Facebook notifications, Perry's traveling to, some part of the world. How do you like that component? I know you like to teach, but, how's all the other things, that people don't really think about when it comes to teaching, all the travel and all that? How's that all add up?
Oh, dude, man, I love it. I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, most people say to me, how do you do that? It's so exhausting. I'm like, if you love what you do, man, you're not working at all. And hell to me would be sitting in an office somewhere where I can't move. And, I always joke around and say that I don't play well with others, which means that I don't like, being told what to do, where to go, how long to stay. So I'm not an employee by any means. So I knew very early on I was going to be an entrepreneur of some way, shape, or form. And I'd rather be sitting on an airplane or in an airport waiting to go somewhere than doing something that I wasn't happy doing. But I take those opportunities to write, or I'm always, which you may have seen by now. I'm a little addicted to it. But, just to go and have the opportunity to travel and teach what I love to do, and to countries that I've always wanted to visit. And I was speaking about somebody today about that I'm over, for instance, I'm in Lisbon. I was in Portugal, and I'm standing there, and there's like 40 people coming there to see me, and it was almost surreal that I pinch myself of, I can't believe that I'm this lucky, or that people are actually here to see me talk about what I love to do. And I was so grateful at that time to have the opportunity to be able to share what I love to do, but also that it seems to have resonated with people, which I'm so very blessed to have that happen. And traveling to other countries is awesome because many times they don't have the opportunity to learn some of the things that we have available here in the United States. Not too many seminars go to some places, and I'm like, well, that's perfect, man, because my whole world is about helping people become better at what they love to do. So why don't I just go to them? And everybody's been so kind and generous and grateful in and of themselves. And speaking to different cultures has also helped me become a better teacher and a better communicator overall. So I'm going to keep the grind going because it's a rush and a half, brother.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I being able to travel, that's definitely, that'd be awesome. But you mentioned earlier in the interview that, you have the book coming out. Talk to me a little bit about what the book's going to be, and, when's it due, when can people order, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate the mention on that. Yeah, so it's a book coming out actually in 2017. It's going to be January or February, depending on how many photos are going to eventually end up in the book. And it's from publisher Victory Belt Publishing. They're well known for doing a lot of different health and fitness books. Two of the biggest ones they've done are, they've done Kelly Starrett's work of Supple Leopard, and they did his running book and his soon-to-be-released book on sitting. And my good friend Jill Miller's book, The Role Model, which is a fantastic book. And so they're doing the publishing for my book. So it's going to be a very similar type of format with a lot of pictures and a lot of description around that. It's not going to be a lot of text-heavy type stuff, written word type things, and a lot of applicable things that people can do. And the title of it is Stop Chasing Pain. Imagine that. And then it's got subtitle below it that's kind of in the works. I can't remember what it is right now, but it's got the word vital in it, which is and movement in it. So and it's going to actually, hopefully, if all goes well, it should go to pre-sale, which means you can actually order advanced copies. I think tomorrow, brother. I think Friday, if I'm not mistaken. If not, it'll definitely be next week, and you can get it pretty much anywhere books are sold in the world, and of course on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, and also big chain places. So it's going to be quite amazing to walk into a bookstore and see my stuff on a shelf. It's a dream come true, and it's just my mission to try to share it with the world. I always say, if I can help this one book, it was definitely worth it. And what the book is it's a culmination of my journey to put these workshops together. So everything that I would be teaching in a workshop is going to be in this book. So I'm showing you the assessments to do. I'm showing you the movement patterns to do. So it's like beginning to end of how to apply the principles that I've done through the course. And I really wanted to hold off on writing a book until I did the course because, one, it was going to help me perfect my message, see what really worked or what didn't work, because things can be really great in your head, but not necessarily transfer out when you begin to teach it or have many, many different people apply it. And then I got great feedback on things, and I've seen combinations that worked even better because I'm always learning. And then now I knew it was a time to begin to push this out for people, and that's pretty much where it came from. It's a workshop put into print from stuff I've learned over 20 years of what I continue to say of bleeding in the arena, being on the battlefield, of trying to help people get better and feel better.
That's excellent, dude. I'm excited for it. One last real question. You've sort of come from, not wanting to do what you were doing into chiropractic, and then sort of worked your way up. What advice would you give to someone, whether it be a trainer, a physical therapist, whoever, who really wants to be able to get to the level of teaching or get to the level of, be able to create a little more influence within, whether it just be their small community or expand into more of a worldwide international community?
So it broke up a little bit, but so what advice would I give people that kind of wanted to get into teaching or sharing what they do, like I do?
Yeah.
It's a great question. So, I get that quite often, to be honest with you. People reach out to me all the time, and they're like, how did you get where you are? I want to be able to do that too. And I'm pretty straightforward with them in two different ways. One, I tell them you got to work your ass off, and you got to want it, right? And you're going to have to follow a kind of a certain, every time I teach, I put the same slide up, and it's kind of a credo of mine for becoming successful at whatever it is you want to venture into. But it's definitely something you're going to have to follow if you want to get into the world of teaching or sharing or trying to make a difference. Because, listen, if you're going to get out there and you're going to share information and try to make a difference in the world, a lot of people are not going to like it or they're going to disagree with it, or you're going to get challenged. And it can be very hard sometimes, and you'll feel like you want to give up because you may be coming from just this place of love and strength, and people can tear you down or be very negative. So, one, you definitely got to embrace yourself and be yourself, because people say, I don't know if I can go out teaching, whether anybody would listen to me or what do I have to say. I'm like, what makes it unique and different is because it's you delivering the material. And just be you, because you're going to bring that experience to the table, and don't try to copy and be like somebody else. You need to embrace your own story and share that with others. And for me, it starts with curiosity, right? You've got to be curious about how things work, or maybe you can find a little bit of a different way, right? So you've got to have that curiosity factor. Number two, you have to be kind. You've got to show kindness, which means that you may have people coming at you, you may have them lashing at you, and they're not going to agree with you. You have to take it and stay on the high ground and stay kind, right? Because that's sorely lacking in the world today. Number 3, you've got to have stamina. You've got to have discipline, because there's many times where you're going to want to quit. There's many times where people may tell you you should quit, because on your road to greatness and following what you love to do, many people try to keep you down and going from that out of fear of their own. So you have to embrace that you may lose friends, you may probably gain new ones, but you can't quit, right? So, I mean, I put a quote up this morning that the universe, it really helps me look at the universe has one job, and it's to kick your ass and to see if you've got what it takes to still live in it. And your job is to fight back and keep getting up and say, yes, I do. And then the last one, and it's the most important one, and it's the most difficult place to get to, because it shows vulnerability. You have to make yourself vulnerable if you're going to show yourself, if you're going to try to make a difference. And that 4th one is a willingness to look stupid. What I mean by that is that you have to put yourself out there, because things might not work. You may get up there and not do great at it, or it just didn't come out the way you wanted to, and you're going to beat yourself up. But that willingness to look stupid and learn from your mistakes, and just remember, very few people have the balls to get up there to do it. And you should be proud that you're going after it. But those 4 things, right? Curiosity, kindness, stamina, a willingness to look stupid, they'll take you anywhere you want to go.
Excellent. Yeah, no, that really helps solidify a couple thoughts just in my head alone. So yeah, you know, I know we're running out of time, so I just wanted to say thanks real quick for coming on today. And I'll be seeing you in August when you're down here for Primal Chains.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we sign off, I want to tell you something, brother. We met, I don't know, was it going on 5 years ago now? Something like that?
Yeah, it was like 5 years ago.
At the Perform Better Summit up there.
Yeah,
and, I got to say, I'm really proud of how far you've come, what you've done, how many people you've helped, because you shared with me where you wanted to go and how you wanted to become as a trainer and a person. And you've definitely done that and exceeded that. And I consider you a dear friend. So I want to say congratulations on all the stuff that you're doing for changing yourself and changing the world and giving people an opportunity for me to come on and just to talk about the Primal Chains. And if people want to learn more about it, they can go to stopchasingpain.com, and there's a page that talks about all the events that are coming up, and the one that we're coming up there in Boston very, very soon. There's a few slots that are still open for that, but it'll be wonderful to get together with you again, my friend. It's been way too long.
Excellent. And is there, I know you have, if they want to follow you on Facebook, Stop Chasing Pain, and you have a Twitter too, right?
Dude, I'm everywhere, man. I mean, like,
just pretty much Google Stop Chasing Pain.
Yeah, you'll kind of find that I'm everywhere. I mean, any kind of social media outlet, you'll probably find me there. So when you're on it, just type in Stop Chasing Pain, and I'll probably show up like a virus.
Excellent. Well, Perry, thanks again for hopping on, and I'll talk with you soon.
You bet, brother. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.